Hello, and welcome back to the Messy Missy podcast. Okay, you've probably heard a lot of my monologues recently, and you're ready for something a little spicier, saltier, whichever way you take it, sweeter, maybe. So I am your hostess with the mostest, Melissa. We are the messiest podcast in the world because we have an international base of guests. And messes don't discriminate by location. So here we are with Naomi, and Naomi kind of coins herself as the Hot Mess Express. And so, of course, as I'm doing research, I'm like, anybody that's got a Hot Mess Express should probably be a guest on the Messy Missy podcast. So, Naomi, welcome to the podcast. And we're really helping people build beautiful businesses and simultaneously build beautiful lives through our messes. And the biggest part of this for me is like when I think Hot Mess Express, I'm like, okay, I'm on a train that's going somewhere, right? Or I'm on something that's going to take me somewhere faster through this mess. But what we should probably start with is what happened to cause a mess in your life, first
Yeah.
and foremost?
Yeah, that's definitely a good place to start. I'm really happy to be here. I love sharing my story because I feel like so many people can relate to it. And the best part of my story is how I got off the Hot Mess Express. So
Love it.
that we'll get to that. But I think to really sort of explain the trauma that I went through, I want to go back even further. So I am the oldest of five kids. I grew up in the suburbs. I had, private school education. My parents are still in love to this day. So I had such a wonderful role model of what love was supposed to look like, what a family was supposed to look like, what life was supposed to look like. And so, I live my life. I go off to college. I marry my college sweetheart. We get jobs. We move around the country. We start a family and we live in the suburbs in our dream house.
Right.
And, I had the white picket fence life. And I was at the time, I had the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom. I had three kids under five and my youngest was 9 months old. And out of the blue, I find out that my husband was cheating on me.
Oh, that's messy.
Yeah, that's very messy. And just like that,
Yep.
my life got pulled out from under me. And it was so traumatic. Like I had no idea like what to do with myself because I was a wife, I was a mom, and all of a sudden the structure and the foundation to my
Mhm.
life was obliterated.
Right.
And so, a year later, we're divorced and I need to go back to work and I'm just going through the motions of life
Right. You're
because
just surviving, right?
I am surviving. And I found out much later that I was definitely in survival mode. Like that is a technical term of being in survival mode. And this is when the Hot Mess Express starts.
Choo choo.
Exactly, exactly. It was full of red wine and treadmills and just plugging through life, just trying to grind, trying to keep my family together and try to be happy, but it was complicated.
I want to point one thing out that I think is important, especially for the listeners, is you found yourself in a mess, but you also found yourself in some way to add some momentum to your life. Like you're saying exercise, drinking wine is, an action too, but you're finding a way in kind of like you're through your mess to put some momentum in there.
Um, I mean, that is a positive spin. I was definitely using those things as coping mechanisms for sure.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
different way to look at it then. I mean,
Yes, yes.
the exercise, I've I call it kind of clinging to. I've clung to exercises like the one thing I could add in my morning routine that
Yeah.
um, makes me move in one way or the other. And I think having that is a starting point, if you will.
Yeah. At the time, though, I had this enormous void in my life when, my ex-husband, ripped it out from under me. And
Hmm.
I was, filling it with alcohol and, douchebags and the treadmill.
Oh,
So I was filling a void. I was self-medicating, I was numbing, and
got
I,
it.
yeah, it was a mess. It was
So
my
it
hot
got
mess.
messier before it got
Oh, for sure.
better. Wow. So what what did you build like or kind of what was the pivot point for you from all that mess if you were like
Yeah.
diving in to kind of mess? I guess the tip of the iceberg was the cheating, but then it sounds like it got messier after that.
Well, I just needed to I was trying to just put one step in front of the
Right.
other. And at the time, my ex-husband and I owned a restaurant slash bar. It was a
Oh,
bar. So I actually went and I worked at the bar. I ran the bar. So still connected to my ex-husband at the same time for 15 years. And I recently actually sold my shares to him. But um yeah, so now I am working at the restaurant that I own, and the restaurant, whereas is really fun, it's full of lots of toxic behaviors and toxic people. So it was feeding that hot mess for sure. So I
got
had I
it.
had a I had a big outlet for fun, and I was balancing between being a mom and being a party girl.
Wow. Well, that's
Yeah.
quite a pivot from the put
Oh yeah.
together family white fence, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And I stayed on this Hot Mess Express for probably 10 to 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was I was thoroughly in it, and I didn't totally see that it was a hot mess. Hindsight is 2020.
mhm.
I just figured that this was my life. And, at some point it wasn't fulfilling me anymore. Like I was tired of dating douchebags. I was tired of, waking up hungover. I was tired of my life. Like I wanted more. I wanted peace. I wanted calm. I wanted like a flow to my life that the Hot Mess Express doesn't give you, because it's always drama and chaos and the mess, So I was finally starting to get sick of my own shit.
I love the candidness of this. So, do you remember a defining moment when you were just sick of the shit? And what was that? Was it
I'm
one
not sure
thing?
that I'm not sure that there was like a specific moment that I do have a very specific aha moment, but
Okay.
I was already in my journey. Like you can see the books behind me. I'm a self-help book junkie. I knew that there was more for my life. So, I come from a family of nerds. I am a nerd, and so like if I want to learn something, I'm going to go all in. So like I bought the books, I took the courses, I listened to the podcast. Like I wanted to change my life. But yet it still wasn't clicking,
Hmm.
because I was doing the self-help and things were getting better, but I was still the party girl over here.
Do you
You
think
know,
you had to give up one thing to get the other? Like, did you have to give up the party girl to get the true self-help, all in better version of yourself?
So those energies don't match. Toxic behaviors and, the drama doesn't match with self-help and peace and flow. So
Got
yes,
it.
I had to give that up to get what I
That makes
wanted.
a lot of sense. So,
Yeah.
if you're listening, let's go into energies.
Okay.
Um, yeah, tell us about take us through that or dive deeper because
Okay.
um I
Yeah,
think that,
it's a big
yeah,
one. So
yes.
in my self-help journey, I was reading a book, and because of course I was reading a book, and the author was sharing a story, and it was a conversation that she had was having with her mother, and her mother was saying, you know, you're not winning in the love department. Like you are out partying, you're drinking, you're hungover, you're staying out too late, and yet you still expect Prince Charming to come in and sweep you off your feet. She's like,
Hmm.
that doesn't work that way. And the author went on to explain that that is the law of attraction, that what you put out is what you get back in life. And for me, it still is the biggest light bulb moment of my life because that is energetics. Like if you're putting out toxic behaviors, then you're going to get douchebags back.
Yeah.
But if you're going to put out an emotionally available person, then you're going to get an amazing, loving relationship back. So at that moment, I realized that I was the problem and
Mm,
that I was also the solution.
I
So
love that.
it was major for me.
It's a tough pill to swallow when you look in the
Oh,
mirror
for
and you're
sure. And
and you're like, I'm the problem. Like
yeah,
I'm attracting the messes.
exactly. Because I didn't understand like where all the douchebags were coming from. Like, and I didn't understand why I didn't have the love or the love of my life. I didn't realize why I didn't have the life that I really wanted. And it was me. Like I was getting in my own way. So I really just I needed to get the fuck out of my own way.
I love that. What if somebody's listening right now and they're like, okay, great, self-help. Okay, great. I'm in my own way. I'm making the messes. How do they get out of their own way?
It's a very good question. And the first thing that I started to do was to ask myself one important question about everything in my life. Does this serve me? Like,
Okay.
is this good for me? So like, the drinking, is this good for me? No. Is this relationship good for me? Is this thought, even your thoughts, is
Mm-hmm.
that good for me? Is this
Mm-hmm.
place good for me? So it's like person, place, thing, attitude. Like, are they serving you? And then you have to start editing. Like, you have to start editing. And that's really scary because we like to hold on to all the things. I can fix it. I
Mm-hmm.
can make it what I need it to be. But sometimes you just need to let it go, you
Right.
know?
So by editing, you mean start removing
Yep.
things?
Yeah.
Rem
There's people that are no longer in my life. There's places that are no longer in my life. There's habits that are no longer in my life. And it's hard work.
hmm
It took probably 2 to 3 years for me to really get off the Hot Mess Express because I had a lot of bad habits that I needed to change, and that takes time because you're rewriting neural pathways in your brain,
hmm
and that takes time.
Yes. Wow. Um, what did you build from your journey here? Like you're off the Hot Mess Express or you're exiting soon and you're out of the restaurant business now?
Not
Or
yet.
okay.
At that point, not yet, because I wasn't brave enough to do that yet.
Mhm.
Because it does take it takes courage and it takes being brave to make these kinds of changes. But I wanted out for probably 7 or 8 years before I even got out. But yeah, so I started building myself. Like I went back to who I used to be. And then leveled up even further. I'm Naomi
So
like
that's
5.0
interesting.
by now.
So you went back to who you used to be and you happy with that?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
wow.
would,
Okay.
yeah, because a lot of my journey was finding myself again.
Right.
Because I had that white picket fence. I was a good person before then. Like I was,
Right.
emotionally stable and available. So I had to refine myself because a lot of times like people like, "Oh, I'm broken. Oh, I need
Mm,
fixing." No,
right.
you're not broken. You just need to find the parts of yourself again that you love. you
Mm,
know,
mhm,
because
mhm.
loving ourselves is a big deal.
Right. Well, I believe love is one of the highest frequencies, right? And
Yes.
then love and authenticity from
Yeah.
what I've studied.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us about the what you've built since then. Like what are you how are you working with people? Are you helping the hot mess the people who are currently on this hot mess express?
Yes. Yeah, so since then I have literally built a life that I'm obsessed with. My life isn't perfect, but I find gratitude and love in every single corner of my life. I remarried.
Okay, I was
Uh,
curious. I was gonna
yes.
ask about a love interest.
Yes, I did remarry, and it's a fun story in itself. He was a part of the Hot Mess Express. We dated off and on for probably 8 years before we really started to actually get on the same page. So I'm thankful that he stuck by me through my Hot Mess Express. Um, and I did finally leave the restaurant because I have found my passion. So through my journey, and again, hindsight is 2020, I would not be the person who I am now doing what I love without all the hardships that I've gone through. So I can appreciate my journey for what it is because it allows me to help women get out of their own way and get off the Hot Mess Express because I really passionately want to help people not be on the Hot Mess Express for as long as I was because you don't
Right.
need to, you
That's what
know?
I was just thinking was it sounds like it takes time, right? And so
It
people
does.
listening can be dissuaded or everybody wants everything now. We're in
Right.
that kind of society, right? Immediate
Yeah.
gratification. However, from what we're hearing is things take time, but it sounds like you now have tools, resources that you use to teach people if they're on that hot mess express, how to get off faster.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and understanding the law of attraction is definitely one of the biggest tools that I like to share with people because a lot of people don't understand that what they're putting out is what you're going to get back. If you're putting out negativity or pessimism or woe is me or victim mentality, then
Mhm.
you're not going to be able to create the life of your dreams.
Right.
So that's a big mindset tool. But alongside the law of attraction is manifestation, and I love all things woo woo, and
And Delulu.
right, um, having some manifestation principles to use as tools to help you create the life of your dreams is something that I really enjoy sharing.
So, do you have any like off the cuff, really quick pointers that you could share with the audience today? We're in a mess. Everything's messy. I feel broken, all the things, all the negative energy, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
if we want to learn from you and get off the hot mess express, what's, I guess, one thing we could do today?
Okay, the first step in all things is
Okay.
awareness.
Okay.
You have to understand your shit. So you have to understand who you are, like where you were, where you are now, and where you want to go. Like you
Beautiful.
need to
Yeah.
take a long look in the mirror and get really real with yourself. And
Right.
that's a hard thing to do. Like a lot of people avoid that
Mm.
because it's scary. A lot of people don't like to look in the mirror and really sort of maybe not like what they see, you know?
Mhm. But there's
So,
also beauty in there. So I
oh,
think what you're saying is like pull it all out, like expose all of it, because
yeah.
as much as you're gonna see the negative or see the messy, you're
Yeah.
gonna see something beautiful too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that first step of awareness and clarity is
Hmm.
really important when you want to make changes.
Do you think clarity and chaos can coexist?
Um, I mean, I would like to say no, but I feel like chaos always like tries to weasel its way
Right.
in.
So
So
they have to. They
I
have to
don't think
coexist.
I don't think they have to. It just kind of is there because life isn't a straight line. You know, life is a roller coaster and chaos is a part of that and clarity is a part of that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just how you react to the
Hmm.
chaos and how you can bring it back calm again. So like how you can turn it around. Your reaction
Mm.
time is very important. So you
So
don't
maybe it's chaos to calmness to clarity. It's like,
yes. Yeah.
so I
Or
have trouble finding clarity with so much messiness, which I feel is chaos.
okay. Okay, so really sort of organizing
Mm.
like your life. So, you know,
Yeah.
there's a really cool tool that life coaches use. It's called the Wheel of Life,
Okay.
and it breaks down your life into 8 different categories. I'm not going to be able to remember all of them, but it's career, family, romance, fun, finances, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And it's really great. So then you can kind of understand what area of your life is needs more support.
Mm.
So if you look at this wheel of life and you kind of score yourself in each section of it,
Hmm.
and and then you kind of score where you would like to be. And you
Yeah.
have to be realistic. Your
Right.
whole life is not going to be a bunch of tens, you
Right.
know. But if your finances are a 2 right now and you think, over the next 6 months or a year you can get to a 6, like that's a massive improvement. That's an area that definitely could use some of your focus. So that is definitely a tool that could calm the chaos.
I like that. And it helps with your first step, which is awareness.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
That's great. So you mentioned books and your self-help book journey.
Yes.
If there was one book you would recommend to somebody, in the wheelhouse, like in this audience right now, she's midlife, everything's falling apart. She's doing a lot of things that don't serve her.
Sure.
What book would you recommend?
Oh, that is a tough question. I mean, the book that did it for me was this one. This has a little bit more of a
Oh,
romance feel to it. It's I'm Done by Lucy Shahjahan, and it's how to create massive shifts in your life and attract your soulmate relationship. So that's definitely specific more for love, but there's a lot
hmm.
of energetics and law of attraction manifestation vibe in here.
Hmm.
So that might be a nice place to
That's a good
start.
starting point because you
Yeah,
start with love. And if
definitely.
even if you're not talking about like loving a partner right now, right? I've gone through divorce, you've gone through divorce. Divorce is messy. But
Yes.
if you start back at, I know one of the first things I had to do after my divorce was love myself.
Yeah.
I had poured so much love into my then husband, raising kids, dogs, the whole scene very similar to what you had as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that perfect life we're going to build because that's the story we tell ourselves as we grow up. So
Yep.
um, that sounds fantastic. So, I'm going to put all the contact information in the show notes down below, Naomi, the Hot Mess Express. And I welcome our listeners and viewers that you can get off the Hot Mess Express faster than it sounds like than I did, because I'm still in some messy, and
Okay.
definitely faster than Naomi did
Yes.
by working with Naomi. Continue to listen to this podcast for great great co-hosts, as I refer to you. I really appreciate your time today, Naomi, and
Yes.
I look forward to following your journey just as well on the social media. So thank you so much. And to our listeners, thank you for your time and attitude of gratitude. It helps.
Yes,
And I
definitely.
know in the beginning of the messiness, it feels fake. I mean, just being real, right? Like you have to reach for some gratitude there.
Yep,
But it manifestation, love, attraction, I mean, we can flip that all around pretty quickly. So
definitely can.
thank you so much, Naomi. Thank you guys for listening. Um, give me a give me a like, give me a follow, a subscribe, and of course, message if you've got any interesting tidbits or key aha moments. And I'm very interested to go get the I'm Done book and give it a read. So thank
There you
you
go.
all so much.